Hey blues fans, so glad you're here. It's time for another episode of This Week in the Blues, our weekly take on blues history. I'm your host, Jimbo Big Train Madsen, with the blues band Big Train and the Locomotives. So let's take a look and see what happened this week in blues history. Blues guitar player Eric Clapton was born March 30th in 1945. Clapton rocketed to fame in the 1960s as the guitarist for the Yardbirds, John Mayall's Blues Breakers, and Cream. Clapton eased into a solo career in 1970, but he was so hesitant to step into the front of the stage, he adopted the pseudonym Derek and the Dominoes for the album Layla. After 1992's MTV Unplugged reconnected him with the blues roots he had built his career upon, he continues to record blues-inspired albums. The first was 1994's From the Cradle, which became one of his most successful records. The original Sonny Boy Williamson was born on March 30th, 1914. John Lee Sonny Boy Williamson was one of the most influential figures in blues history, a master harmonica player who not only brought the instrument into equal footing with guitar and piano as a solo voice, but a singer, songwriter, and frontman who established a prototype for harmonica-led bands that's been followed ever since, albeit with modernizing enhancements along the way. He died at the age of 34, at the top of his game, from a violent beating that occurred during a strong-arm robbery on the south side of Chicago. Blues and soul singer and piano player Harold Barrage was born March 30th, 1931 in Chicago, Illinois. Barrage did session work as a pianist in the 1950s and 60s, as well as recording under his own name. Barrage's backing bands included the likes of Otis Rush, Willie Dixon, Wayne Bennett, and Jody Williams, while Barrage supported Magic Slim, Charles Clark, and others as a pianist. Barrage's only national hit as a singer was the 1965 Chicago soul song Got to Find a Way, which reached number 31 on the U.S. Billboard and R&B chart. The following year, Barrage died in Chicago at the age of 35 from heart failure. Piedmont and blues guitarist and singer Etta Baker was born on March 31st in 1913. Picking up the guitar at the age of 3, she played the guitar for 90 years. She's influenced the likes of Bob Dylan, Taj Mahal, and Kenny Wayne Shepherd. She was born Etta Lucille Reed in Caldwell County, North Carolina, and was taught guitar by her father, who was a longtime player of the Piedmont blues on several instruments. She played both the 6-string and 12-string acoustic guitar and the 5-string banjo. She was one of 8 children, and all of her siblings played instruments. West Coast blues guitarist Lowell Fulson was born March 31st, 1921, on a Choctaw reservation in Atoka, Oklahoma. After T-Bone Walker, he was the most important figure in West Coast blues in the 1940s and 50s. At the age of 18, he moved to Ada, Oklahoma, and joined Alger Texas Alexander for a few months in 1940. He then moved to California, where he formed a band which soon included a young Ray Charles. In 1993, he was inducted into the Blues Foundation Hall of Fame, as was his recording of Reconsider Baby. In 1995, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducted Reconsider Baby in their list of 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. On March 31st, 1967, Jimi Hendrix set fire to his guitar live on stage for the first time when he was appearing at the Astoria in London, England. It was the first night of a 24-date tour with the Walker Brothers, Cat Stevens, and Engelbert Humperdinck. Engelbert Humperdinck. I just like saying the name Engelbert Humperdinck. I can't imagine them on the same bill. Anyway, the Fender Stratocaster burned on stage by Hendrix sold at a 2008 London auction of rock memorabilia for $500,000. I'm still not going to set fire to any of my guitars. I like them too much. Blues singer Lucille Bogan was born April 1st, 1897, probably in Birmingham, Alabama. She was among the first blues singers to be recorded. She also recorded under the pseudonym Bessie Jackson. Many of her songs were sexually explicit, and she was generally considered to have been a dirty blues musician. She first recorded vaudeville songs in New York in 1923, and later that year recorded Pawn Shop Blues in Atlanta, Georgia. She also recorded the original version of Black Angel Blues, which was covered by B.B. King and many others. Texas pianist Amos Milbourne was born April 1st, 1927 in Houston, one of 13 children. In the decade after World War II, he bridged the gap between blues and rock and roll, banging out up-tempo boogie-woogie jump blues rhythms on piano. He was also the first to chart with one scotch, one bourbon, one beer. Now, by the age of 5, he was playing tunes on the piano. He enlisted in the United States Navy when he was 15 and earned 13 battle stars in the Philippines. He returned to Houston and organized a 16-piece band playing in the clubs in the city. Here's a little Chicago blues history for you. The Checkerboard Lounge was a blues club on the south side of Chicago, established in 1972 by L.C. Thurman and Buddy Guy. Now, in 1985, Buddy Guy left to start his own club called Legends. Thurman was himself a legend on the South Side Chicago blues scene, keeping the home of the blues going during good times, like in 1981 when the Rolling Stones jammed there with Muddy Waters, and bad, when the club almost closed on numerous occasions. New Orleans blues guitarist John Mooney was born April 3rd, 1955. He has developed a unique music style by combining Delta blues with the funky second-line beat of New Orleans. He is especially known for his slide guitar work. Growing up in Rochester, New York, Mooney took to the guitar as a 10-year-old and quickly became obsessed with the instrument. He began his professional performing career at 13, at first playing many shows with Rochester area blues guitarist Joe Beard. By his mid-teens, Mooney had worked out a few Sun House tunes on his guitar, using his slide. Blues legend McKinley Morganfield, who you probably know as Muddy Waters, was born on April 4th, 1913. He is arguably the most important blues musician in the post-war blues scene, and is often cited as the father of modern Chicago blues. Now, Muddy Waters grew up on the Stovall Plantation near Clarksville, Mississippi, and by the age of 17 was playing the guitar and the harmonica, emulating the local blues artists Sun House and Robert Johnson. He was recorded in Mississippi by Alan Lomax for the Library of Congress in 1941, and that jump-started his career, gave him the confidence to keep doing what he was doing. Mississippi bluesman Robert Cage was born April 4th, 1937 in New Orleans. He worked as a truck mechanic when not playing in juke joints, and later, when his fame grew, played at larger U.S. and international festivals. Soon after his birth, his family moved to Natchez, and from there to Woodville, Mississippi, a small, woodsy town forgotten by time, even by Mississippi standards. Robert's father owned a grocery store, and it was there, on the porch, where Robert heard Scott Dunbar play and sing, as well as another performer named Pig. I've tried to find the real name, but all I can find is Pig. I hope it wasn't a well-deserved nickname. Anyway, blues fans, we just covered some of the highlights here. Now, if you want to know more about these artists or the other things that happened this week in the blues, be sure to follow our social media pages or just visit our website at bigtrainblues.com. We'll have a new episode next week, and we'll talk about Texas bluesman Mance Lipscomb and blues singer Shemekia Copeland. So we'll see you then.